Well, hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Really excited for today and to introduce you guys to today's guest. We have Michelle Weir, who is up in Canada. Forgot what city you were in. So
it's okay. Edmonton, very cold.
My brain was telling me because you guys have hockey teams, and I was like, it's one of the hockey teams, Edmonton Oilers.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
Michelle's awesome. She is a psychic medium and channeler, as well as a spiritual awakening coach. And I was on her Instagram page not too long ago and could feel the vibes that she was sharing with her audience and knew that we would have a fun conversation to share with you guys. So that's what we're going to do today. So without further ado from me, I want to introduce you guys to Michelle. And Michelle, if you could share with the audience so they're more familiar with you, who you are, what you do, why you do it, all that good stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Michelle Weir. I'm also known as the Bodhisattva here in Edmonton and any other parts of the world that people follow me. So without rambling too much, I'm going to try to give you guys it in just short and sweet. But I am a psychic medium, channeler, healer. There's so much to the list. Soul awakening coach. I teach. I do everything I do with so much love and so much passion. I adore my clients. They end up becoming my family. I've been doing this for 22 years now, and it's been a ride. I started when I was quite young. I was 14 years old, and it was awesome to realize that I had this gift of healing and just channeling, receiving messages where I thought, walking around, you think that everybody has this just because it's so normal for you. And then you realize in these social circles that you are very, very different. So it was definitely a very challenging childhood just because nobody understood me. Nobody was speaking the same language. And I always say that I speak the language of energy and frequency. But now here in Edmonton, at the age of 36, I feel like I found my soul family, my tribe, and it feels amazing. And just the love I've been getting here, but even on Instagram and Facebook, and just the messages of like one little thing that I post, but it could change someone's life. So my thing is just what I like to teach people is authenticity. Be yourself regardless of what anybody else may say, think, or whatever. It's you have to be authentic. It's like it's 2020. You can't wait anymore. There's no more hiding, right? We have to come out and do this. So if you haven't found your calling yet, that's okay. You will. It's really doing what you love to do. And yes, you can make money doing it, because a lot of us tend to think that, oh, I can't do that, or I can't be an artist because, back in the day, the thing that my grandma would always say is starving artist, right? And that is so not true. That is an old belief system, and it's something that we've been programmed to maybe think, but it's been just, now's the time to really just delete the programming. And many of us have been going through this too, is just deleting all the old programming, all the ancestral patterns and all the baggage that we've been carrying for everyone else. It's time to be free of all this and just let it go. So I know, stop me if I'm going on too much.
Inspired me so many different times in so many different ways. My head is like, oh my gosh, I want to share this. I'm going to share a couple of things that you just inspired me to share.
Yeah.
I love your flow. I'll never stop your flow. Your flow can continue on for as long as you want it to go.
Awesome.
I love what you said right at the beginning, that everything that you do it with love, and you speak with the language of frequency, which I want to just highlight those two things for the audience, because all of us, that's who we truly are, is love. And, we label ourselves different things. And, when it boils down to it, in the moment, we're always being some frequency that can be measured, with science these days. And so I love how Michelle just said she speaks through frequency, because that gives me so much peace, just being aware of what my frequency is in the moment, which is the only thing that it can be. You can't ask yourself, so today, am I going to have a good day because, my vibe, my energy, my mood was good yesterday? It could have some play in it, but not much. What really is going to determine what today's day is going to be is this moment and this moment and this moment and this moment. And then throughout, and then all of a sudden you look up, you're like, wow, it's been a really good day. because I've been in a really good mood all day. So I've been happy all day. And, you know, as a result, lots of fun events. You might have lots of fun people you're interacting with, cool ideas, words that you're speaking. When Michelle says she speaks through the language of frequency, are going to be a match to that right now vibe and mood. So if you know that you're in a good mood, or if you're at least just at peace or content or whatever you want to call it, anything that you're like, I feel good right now, you can really trust the thoughts that pop in your head are going to be serving you or others if you're speaking to someone, and the words and the actions, everything that you do in those moments are going to be to your benefit, moving you towards anything that you want to be, do, and have. And it gives me so much peace and excitement to know that. And I love that you hit on that right off the bat. So
boom, let's just bring it, right? Yeah, it's fantastic. I love that that brought you peace too, because a lot of people, you know, if they haven't heard it before, they might think that, oh, maybe there's something not right with me. Maybe, do you know what I mean? Or if you're speaking your language of energy and frequency to somebody else, but if somebody else doesn't understand it for whatever reasons, they're just not going to get you. They're just not going to get you. You can have a conversation and it's almost like having a conversation with a wall. You're going to get zero response. It's going to be like, what? So it's just nice to know that it's not a strange thing. If you have this, embrace it, because when you start to really accept and love yourself for who you are and your gifts, guess what? The outside world is forced to change. Everything around you is forced to change because your vibration is up here. And all of a sudden the universe is like, I have to match this. So which means I have to shake shit up around you and really just bring your people to the surface. And that's when you start attracting people who love you for who you are and just match your vibration and inspire you instead of bringing you down. So I feel like it's so necessary to be authentic, because then there's no surprises down the line. Like, you know, when people say they get into a relationship and then they're like, everything is glorious, you know, you go through this like honeymoon stage, and then later on people are like, like the mundane comes in and it's like, well, I thought you were this kind of person. Oh, I thought you wanted that person, so I was that person. And then it just becomes this of, I don't know who you really are. And if we're authentic up front, that's being honest. That's the honesty we need to bring. And it's not just in relationships, it's all parts of our life, because then there is no, oh, I thought you were like this, Michelle, and you came out like this. It's like, yeah, well, I don't know if we're gonna, you know, make this work. And then we're disappointed. So with authenticity, there is no disappointment. There is no disappointment. There's just bliss, because you are really vibing from your soul. Like you're radiating your energy from your soul. And that just goes out so many miles and it reaches so many people. And guess what? It starts to attract what you want. Everything that you've been waiting for this entire time. It's like bringing it in, bringing it in. And then when you're authentic, you are truly happy. You're truly happy. It's very simple, but it's very difficult for us sometimes to do and comprehend because of all these belief systems, all this programming that has happened since we were kids. And we, you know, we come into this world and we trust our parents, we trust the people around us to really show us the ropes and show us what to do, and not even just tell us, because kids learn through seeing more than anything. You can just turn blue in the face telling them, you got to do this, you got to do that. But if they don't see you doing it, they're going to be like, well, something's not right here. Some kind of contradictions happening over here. Something's not right because you are not walking your talk. So showing people is also going to help people see how they are supposed to treat you, which is huge.
for sure, Michelle, my brain is going crazy with just like lighting up, because you're flowing so much awesome energy, and I'm receiving all of it, and I'm inspired to anything you say. I've already noticed I'm going to be inspired to share things. So what you just shared, what you've been sharing the whole episode when it comes to authenticity, it's just so much easier to live life that way. It's so much more in the flow. I like to use the analogy of, or just the comparison of, doing something as a motivated action versus an inspired action, and a motivated action with a motive as a result. So when Michelle described the relationship and someone trying to be a certain way because their motive is, I want this relationship to be awesome, so I'm going to try to be like this instead of allowing who they really are to be and attracting that to be able to play and co-create with that person. But with the motivated action, you're trying to make something happen and like push it. That's so much harder because you're always thinking, am I doing good enough? Am I being good enough? Am I enough? You know,
Yes.
am I, and you're always, you know, it's that vibration of worry and anxiety because you're trying to make something happen that's not who and what any of us truly are. It's much more difficult. There's going to be a lot of stress, a lot of ups and downs. That's a roller coaster ride. And, you know, we're humans, so don't make yourself wrong for it. We've all done it. Just being aware of it. Now you have another choice, which is, I like to call it inspired action versus motivated, because inspire is the root, in spirit. And so we can, instead of saying, what do I need to try to do to make this goal happen or make this thing happen? What am I, like Michelle's been saying the whole time, what am I most inspired to do? What do I really love? And if you're an artist, be an artist. If you want to be in a relationship and you are a certain way, you know, just allow yourself to be that way. And like Michelle said, you become a magnet to that. And so you're putting that vibration out, which is so easy because you don't have to try. That's who you really are. And then you can attract to yourself, you know, whatever it is that you want to be doing, having. You don't have to know how it's going to happen right now, when, where. You know, we all have things in our life right now that we're really excited about, that are desires or dreams or whatever you want to call them. And we don't know exactly how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, who it's going to be, if you want a relationship. And all that is all good. That's what makes the human experience fun. That's what makes it adventurous. And if we can release all of the how it's going to happen, and who, and all of these things, then we get to actually just go and with the flow and do what we can. The only thing that we can control is what's our vibe, what's our frequency, what's our mood and energy right now. And then if we can just be on top of that and just go through life and enjoy the moments as much as we can, then you'll attract everything, the thoughts, the ideas, the people, places, circumstances that you need to fulfill all these things that we want to be doing, having. Like Michelle said, sounds super simple, because it really is. We're the ones that add the layers to it that complicate it, but we're human. It's all good, because even if you're overcomplicating life, you know, at any given moment and making it harder for yourself, that's what we do. You know, we make things harder for ourselves than it has to be. The beautiful thing is it's going to give us a new life experience, which we're going to be like, oh my gosh, that was a rough life experience. That was really challenging. Maybe you're experiencing it right now. But the good news for that challenge is it's giving you more clarity. We're like, ooh, I know I don't want to experience more of that. I know I don't want to date another person that has these characteristics. And I know I brought myself to the equation too, so I'm not blaming them, but that's something that I've experienced now. So I'm super excited to experience this. And now flowing our energy consistently towards what we're excited about there without needing to know the details. That's how we manifest. So thank you for inspiring all that, Michelle.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, if I can touch on something that you said,
Sure.
that has been, it's funny that you brought it up, because it's been something that I've been discussing with a lot of people a lot lately, is the how. I have a 4-year-old daughter. She's going to be 5 soon. And so I can honestly say I have like a master teacher in the household. Like, she is I call her Buddha, because this kid, like, she's connected, she's tapped in, she knows, everybody that meets her is just like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how she chose me, but thank you. She is a master at manifesting what she wants. And the reason why this is because she doesn't care about the how. She doesn't care how she needs to get this, or that, I got to buy this or do that. She just knows, I want that, I'm going to get it. And then it happens, and it happens so quickly because she's not putting obstacles on her path. And the human mind likes to control things, as we know, right? Likes to control things. And it's okay, because it's also a teacher for us to be able to learn how to maneuver as a human being. But the how is really, we put obstacles because we think there has to be a certain way to do it. But the universe is saying, hey, hello, I have an easier way for you, but you're really making it difficult because you want to go down this route. Do you really want to go down this route? And if we just remove that and just give it up to the universe, say, I would really love for this to happen. Yes, let's make this happen. This is what I want. Then the universe wants you to step out of the way, meaning just go off and do something else and just trust. Trust and faith is very difficult for us, but it's necessary. And then it'll manifest so quickly and in ways where you're like, wow, I never thought it would come around this way. That was so easy, or whatever it may be. So it's just removing the how, I would definitely say, is a big thing in order to make things manifest. Because people sometimes say, I've done the affirmations, I've done this, I've done that. what am I doing wrong? So it's maybe just not to judge yourself that, oh, I did this again, because you don't want to impose that kind of energy on yourself, but really just being mindful, more mindful of when we ask for something, what do we do after that? Do we then try to manipulate how this happens? Do we spiral into maybe some kind of toxic thinking that maybe we don't deserve it? A lot of the times is because we don't feel we're worthy enough, which is a big thing, where a lot of things come from that. A lot of things attached to our value and how we see ourselves. So I love how you touched upon that, because I have the master teacher in my household that has been showing me that since the day she has been born. And I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so right, because it's so easy. Like, this kid goes into a mall and she finds like a $10 bill on the ground like that. Like, she's the queen of tens because her piggy bank is full of tens. So it's just, to watch that is just so inspiring and just wowing. I'm gonna start a new word here. It's wowing. It's beautiful.
I love that. That's awesome, and such a great reminder for everybody out there listening that I knew you were going that route too when you mentioned, as soon as you said you had a 4-year-old, because the kids they just came from spirit or God or non-physical or universe, whatever you want to call it. They just arrived. So they haven't had life or themselves or others tell them yet, you're not enough, or you can't do this, or stop having so much fun. Like, who made that up? Stop having so much fun. Sit down somewhere. Like, no, keep having fun. Like, I don't have kids yet, but if I do, like, they're going to be allowed to just evolve, and I won't let them go play in traffic or anything like that. I don't want them learning lessons that way. But everything else is all good. Like, just have fun, evolve, because they're teaching us. Like, I'm just like you. She's your master teacher. Also, animals do this for us. Like, we watch like animals out in their element.
Yes.
Until, like, domesticated animals, yes, but then we can also get in the way, because if we're in a funk or in a crap mood for an extended period of time, that can start to wear off on little kids and animals. So they're just being affected by our energy. But if they're allowed to be in their element, little kids and animals, they're such great teachers for all of us. I'm so happy that you mentioned that. You said something else after there that really inspired me too. That'll pop back in my mind when it's ready. But I love this conversation so far. So much fun.
Me too. This is awesome. I love it.
So,
it's so good.
So question for you.
Yes.
We're right now recording this right at the beginning of 2020. What are you excited about right now that you're creating, or that you want the audience to know about, or any of that stuff? What's going on in the world of Michelle?
Wow. There's a lot that I'm excited about that I don't really know what it is yet. It's almost like that. It's not almost, it is. It's that deep soul feeling where my soul is like happy, jumping, because my soul's like, girl, you got no idea what's coming. It's great, and it's coming. But also what is already here, that is very exciting for me, is I'm going to be teaching a lot. And I write my own courses, and these courses are based on the things that I absolutely love and am passionate about, which is what I teach. And also, if there's been like no healing courses that I've seen, or healing courses that I've seen that haven't had everything that I think a course needs to have, this is it. I bring in all the magic, just everything to these courses, and all the passion, and they're all channeled, because I'm able to do that very easily. So for me, I'm like, hey, let's do something really cool. I have a course that I recently launched that's called the Ascension Lifestyle. And this is really about walking your talk. It's not just learning spirituality and then going off back into the mundane. It's really how you keep that up. And I teach it privately right now. I like doing the one-on-one a lot, because you really get to get deep into what that person really needs. And I'm able to channel through the information what they need, and we're able to customize something for them, because we weren't born with a manual. So why should we follow one, right? We need to have things that are custom for us. And what I also tell all my students and clients is, don't necessarily take everything I say. Like, you take it or leave it. If it doesn't vibe with you, if you're not feeling it, leave it. Don't take it in. Don't give up your power to me. Keep your power. You want to just pick apart the pieces that vibe and resonate with you and align with you, and then create your own. Because we need to have our own. You need to have something that works for you. So these courses are lifestyle courses, and I do have one coming up that's going to be in a class formation. It's called Psychic Medium Lifestyle. And if you're in the Edmonton area or wanting to come into Edmonton for this, February 8th, I will be doing it at Clarity here in Edmonton. And it's going to be amazing because it's not just psychic medium, it's psychic medium lifestyle. So living and breathing all of this and staying in that vibration, and not just meditating when you sit to meditate, but being in a meditative state 24/7. So I really dig deep with all these. I go into chakra magic, listening to your body, just intuitive body. I even touch on intuitive shopping in my courses. And because it's a fun thing, because what I've learned through connecting with my guides, there is a way of shopping, like ego-based shopping and intuitive shopping, where it's okay to spend money knowing that there is more where that came from, as long as you spend it on things that you love, not things that you feel you have to have because somebody else might have influenced you in a certain way, but that it's safe to do things like that. And also, I love teaching abundant mindset. Like, how do we maintain a mindset that's going to allow you to connect to your higher self and stay connected and attract your tribe, attract all the abundance in the world, because we are abundant beings. We're meant to live abundant lifestyles. So I think it's going to be fantastic. And actually, not even some, but now all my male clients are military. So I also have a very, very powerful course coming out for them, and it's called Beyond Combat Lifestyle. So it's for anybody who's military that has been in combat. It's okay if they're still in the military, or they can be ex-military, and just learning how to cope in the world, tapping into yourself, your personal power, taking back your power. Because my ex-husband is military too, so I've seen so many horrible things. And these guys give up their personal power, and it's really sad to see what they go through, and they don't realize when they're in it. So I wanted to create a safe space for these people, where they can start to rebuild and just trust again and feel like they can exist amongst the rest of us. So yeah, there's so much coming this year, but courses, teaching is my passion. So I feel that is a huge focus for me this year, and just really getting out there with it.
I love it. I love it. And you inspired me, and I remember what I was going to say, which ties into all this. And you inspired me a couple times there. But first, anybody out there that is inspired by, anything that they're hearing, Michelle, you love her energy, you're resonating with it, definitely explore the avenue of definitely connecting with her on social media, seeing what she's doing regarding everything she's teaching. Because what I've learned in life is that little pull, that energetic pull, what we were just talking about, the inspired action, is always such a beneficial next step on our journey, because there's something there, some clarity that can be had, and you just have no idea where that can propel you on your journey when you actually follow through on those inspirations, those little nudges from the universe. Like, it's just like, that sounds interesting. Follow that. And just, you might follow it for a bit. You might follow it just to connect with Michelle on social media, or whatever it is, or to ask a question, or whatever it is. By the way, we're live on here right now. You guys ask any questions that you want. I'll look at the end. But you inspired me to say a couple of things. And one, about whenever any of my guests speak about worthiness and having, people, a lot of people questioning their own worthiness. What I love to remind people of is the same energy flows to and through us all. There's no special breed of human out there. And if we can all, as a human being, we can all feel love, joy, bliss. We can all feel fear, doubt, worry, depressed, anxiety. We can all feel everything in between. So that's part of the human experience. So there's nothing that separates any of us. We're all connected in that way. And so the key, and you described, there's no manual, definitely no written manual, but there's beautiful people like you, Michelle, and others that are creating things that can help us remember who and what we truly are. Remember the things that your 4-year-old already knows and that we all knew when we were little unconditional, loving little beings around here, playing with rocks and sticks and leaves and just having a grand old time, finding $10 bills and all the other stuff that we do. And so, that there's beautiful people that are creating it. And I will say that the guide to the manuals out there that will help you, whether it be the people like Michelle or the books or the videos or podcasts like this or whatever it is that inside that inner, spirit, God, universe, love, to where when you're connected with it, when you can feel that you're at least at peace or content or anything that feels better than that, joy, happiness, loving, in those moments you're connected and you're open to receive awesome synchronicities, things that you can never predict, that like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this person existed, 2 seconds ago. And now we're having this awesome conversation. Now I'm dating you. Oh my gosh, now we're married. I mean, this is how life works. And every other area of life, we don't have to have all the details figured out like we've been talking about, but just knowing that when we're connected, then we're also connected to awesome ideas that can flow through us out of just nowhere, like, oh my gosh, that's a good idea. And then when you're following through on that, like we've been talking about, the words that you speak, the actions that you take, the synchronicities that you attract, which is my favorite part of life. It's what makes it adventurous, because knowing that when we're connected, we're going to have awesome synchronicities. Also know when we're disconnecting ourselves, we're never fully disconnected, but when we're in those vibrations, those frequencies of fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, depression, anger, rage, don't make yourself wrong for it. We're human. At the same time, you're vulnerable for synchronicities that you don't want to find you as well. So we say synchronicity a lot, and we just think of the synchronicities that we love. There's also synchronicities that we don't love so much that you become a match to physical illness and accidents and just different things out there. Just know that that is something that, we attracted as well because of our frequency leading up to that synchronicity. So the worthiness thing, I always just want to remind people that if one of us is worthy, if you see someone on social media or anywhere that you're like, they're an awesome human, that's you. There's no separating. They don't have a special energy flowing through them that you don't have. All they have done is they've lined up with something that most likely they're very passionate about, most likely very excited about. And where attention goes, energy flows, and they flowed enough attention and energy towards whatever it is that you're looking at. Like, wow, that's awesome. Or they're an actor, or they're an artist, or a musician, or working they're an awesome CEO of a corporate, corporate company. They flowed enough attention and energy at that thing to manifest to where any of us can do that. And that's why I love how Michelle started this episode as far as encouraging people to be authentic, because the easiest way to do that is to connect with whatever it is that you're excited, passionate about, that lights you up. And then it's easy to flow attention at that because you like it. And then the more attention and passion and energy that you flow at it, then you see the manifestation. And that's how everything that you see when you look around you right now, this chair that I'm sitting in, at some point, a human was like, I'm so tired of standing up and sitting on the ground. I need something. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what material to use. And once they discovered that they could carve some wood and make a chair, all of a sudden, now we have evolution of chairs. And everybody out there that's listening to sitting in a chair can be appreciative of that human that initially wanted to flow out energy to create a chair. And we can all do that while we're here as far as whatever we're excited about. So that's awesome. I'm so happy that I got to share that because of that little
thing. Yeah, that's absolutely. And you know what? It's funny when we recognize that someone is awesome. Also look at yourself. It's like point the mirror towards yourself and recognize that you're awesome. When people give me compliments, especially when it's in person, they're saying you're such a loving person. I'm like, well, it takes one to know one. So you obviously have something in you that you're recognizing that in me. And even if you may not feel it, it doesn't mean it's not there. We have it. It's not that we need to go looking for something. It's all in here. We have it. It's just a matter of getting to know yourself and really deepening your relationship with yourself, where a lot of times we tend to look for things on the exterior, but it's already flowing in here. You have all the tools that you need in order to achieve what you want. And whether it's achieving a relationship with yourself that is loving, unconditional, it's inside. I always say that you have to be a partner for yourself first.
So
in
good.
order to be able to be that whole person with somebody else. Because otherwise we lose ourselves in relationships, and we tend to think that we need to plug into someone else to really gain some worthiness, but that's not where it's at. It's in here. And this can be the scariest place to explore for a lot of human beings, because I've never been there. Do you know what I mean? Or it's like, or I haven't been there in a while. Like, what if it's really dusty in there and I have to sweep up? You may have to do some sweeping up, but know that all that sweeping will lead to the gold. You'll see it. We're always healing. That's just nonstop. We're always healing. It's just realizing that when you're healing, if you feel like you're in a mucky state, know that it's temporary, first and foremost, but try to find the beauty in it. Try to find that little hidden gem that is going to make it okay. I can get through this because I know what's the lights at the end of the tunnel, and it's going to be fantastic, because clearing this out is going to make me, first and foremost, better for myself, but then I'll be able to radiate that out onto other people. So healing is actually a beautiful thing, but we tend to think that it's such a mucky thing, because it doesn't always feel great. But if you really tap in deep down inside, even when you're kind of feeling a little bit mundane, your soul's happy, because your soul's like, yes, we're releasing, we're releasing, we're releasing. And we're recoding, we're deleting old habits, old belief systems, and it's fantastic. So don't be afraid to tap into yourself, and you can start slow. Like, just, try maybe doing a little self-love meditation. And if the word love scares you, then how about try like? We can start with like, just start small. Like I love encouraging my clients and my students to make lists of what they love about themselves, and list a few things. And it doesn't have to be anything huge. Like I said, if love is too much, start with what you like about yourself. And if that is difficult for you as well, what have other people said about you that's fantastic? Write those things down and start to look at that and add to that list. Over time, you're going to look at it and be like, whoa, like, I have a lot of great qualities. Like, I'm fabulous, especially those days where even I sometimes feel like I'm stepping back into the mundane, because we have days. But key thing is not to live in that state. It's okay to allow yourself to feel, because we need to feel emotions in order to purge. Just remember, that's not your destination.
Absolutely. What's awesome about every single one of you out there, like, I'll just affirm this for you right now, just know this to be true, is nobody has lived the life experience that you've lived. And so because all of us are this energy that we've been talking about this whole time, call it God, spirit, love, all it is, energy. My guest yesterday called it the Force, like Star Wars. I loved it. Because all of us truly are, and nobody has lived the exact same life experience that you lived. You matter, and you're super interesting. And if you're flowing that passionate, excited energy towards whatever you like, I don't care what it is, then that's going to manifest something that right now on this planet doesn't exist. Even if it's an awesome conversation with another human being, that because you're so passionate about this one random thing that right now you don't see as being awesome, but because that's your life experience and nobody else has it, you're inspiring this human being you're talking to because of how passionate you are about this thing. And like, wow, I have some things that I'm passionate about like that too. I love how lit up you are talking about it. And now you've inspired them, and they can go off and create and inspire others, and the ripple effect continues on. And so every single one of you, and what Michelle said right at the beginning of what she was just sharing, I'd love to say it this way, because a lot of when you're saying people giving compliments and reminding them that is just, I forget exactly how you say it, but the way I like to say it is, what you see in me is a reflection of you. That's reflecting from you. And
definitely, yeah.
So if you compliment me, then awesome. Then that's reflecting from you. What you're seeing inside of me is what you're seeing from you. Also out there, if you're criticizing or condemning someone, that's reflecting from you. So you're always reflecting. So you can't blame or condemn or any of that stuff either. It's just, you are, just notice that's coming out from inside of you, what you're seeing. So anytime you're pointing out something that someone else is doing, just know that's just reflecting out of you, and that has more to do with you than them every single time. So this is such an awesome conversation, Michelle. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I want to ask you a question now that I like to ask, and you've been doing it the whole time. So just want to make sure that we share with the audience anything that is just bursting out of you, but anything that you would love the audience to know from your life experience and the things you become aware of, that whenever they hear this episode, whether it be right when it released or live with us, ask any questions that you guys have, if you guys have them, because I'm going to check that in a second. But no matter when they hear this, anything you want to share that you know could positively inspire, uplift, impact their lives whenever they hear it. You've been doing it the whole time.
Thank you. I do have something, because this has been my life story, is don't give up. Don't ever give up. If you deep down inside, and I might start tearing up because this is so close to my heart. What I do now for a living, I was told for so many years that I cannot do it. And everybody told me, just give up now, Michelle, because this is not going to happen. And it's just been a whole road of people saying that along the way. And the more they said it, the more I strengthened, the more I was like, no, I have to do this. I have to do this. And I had moments where I was crumbling and I felt like this was it and I'm just going to give up. And then I just would hear voices. I would hear my guides telling me, like, really, you're going to give up? What a disservice you are going to do by giving up. And I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, I matter and I'm needed. And there's a reason why I'm passionate about what I do and why I have these gifts. It's to share with the world. If I was to roll over and just in fetal position and just lay there crying, none of this magic would be happening around me. So there was so many times where I felt like giving up. But honestly, if there's one thing I can tell you guys is, don't give up. When you feel it in your being, hang on to that. Doesn't matter if no one around you understands, that is okay. You will attract the people that do eventually, and they will help to just bring you up and light you up. And do not allow people in your life to treat you in an awful way. So when you see that happening, that's also an indication for us that maybe we need to be a little bit more loving towards ourselves, just a little more loving kindness. And then you'll see those people start to fade away. But remember, you are powerful. You are powerful. Don't forget that. You are powerful. You are magical. You are a wonderful being, and you have so much to share with the world. And whether it's you want to become a yoga teacher, a school teacher, or inspire people in other ways, even if it's opening up a store, clothing might be your passion, but you do it with love and you show up every day. You show up. That is your passion. Stick to it. You'll hear all the greats, all the people that we consider to be like, oh, because they made it, say the same thing. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up before the magic happens, before the miracle happens. Because that's what we tend to do. We tend to give up right before. And then it's like, oh, you were so close. So know that you guys are so close, because 2020 is the year of magic. 2020 is when it actually comes up. Everything comes into fruition. All your dreams come true. You just have to believe it. Do not let that go. Don't give up your power that way to anybody else, because it is yours to keep. So go with it, run with it, inspire yourself, inspire others through not giving up. I can't stress it enough. I have selenite here. Don't give up. That would probably be the biggest thing that I can tell you guys, is just keep going, because you are worth it and we need you. We need you. We really do. You are very needed. We need you.
I love it. And you're such a beautiful example of this, Michelle, which you just described. And it's so obvious. And for anybody out there that wants to make an impact, starting like one of the best ways, if not the best, and Michelle, you mentioned this earlier in the podcast, is the example that you're showing to the people that are watching you. It doesn't always have to be, your kids or your family or your friends or coworkers. They're definitely, you can make a huge impact by being a great example of just being loved, being who and what you truly are, for sure. It can also be you just out on the street and, going for a walk, and, someone that comes into your path and you're in a good place. You're just happy, you're just enjoying, you don't know yet how all these things that you desire are going to happen. You don't know all the details yet, but you just decided to let go and to just be right now in the moment, and you're at peace. And because of that, now you're giving that energy to someone that you got a complete stranger, and you can uplift them just while waiting across the street. You guys can share a funny laugh, and that can impact their whole day. Or so we can be this example for anyone. And most importantly, it feels really good when we're being what we truly are. And here's the good news for everyone out there. If you're at a place right now, it's the new year and everybody's thinking about, what do I want 2020 to look like? And there's probably a lot of people that aren't super clear on the details yet as far as how it's going to all happen. I'll tell you when you're going to have the ideas and the cool synchronicities and all these things that will flow you towards those things that we want to be, do, and have. When it's not going to happen is when we're trying to, or any energy where it's like we're sad, we're depressed, we're feeling this way, and that's okay. It's a part of the human experience. But my advice is any powerful questions of how that you ask to the universe, to once you can allow yourself to get back to just being at peace, knowing that the answer will find you when you're ready to receive it. And when you're ready to receive it is going to be when you're in a state of being at least at peace, content, love, happy, everything that we've been talking about. Now you're a match to the answers to that. Now you're a match to how you'll feel as that is manifesting. And that's when the answer can find you, of the good ideas, or the person that you need to meet, or the podcast episode that you need to listen to, or the YouTube video you need to stumble upon. I can't tell you how many YouTube videos where I've been in the shower and it's just been like playing, and all of a sudden one plays and I'm like, who is this person that's like sharing this awesome stuff? Didn't even know they existed. And it's just like a suggested video that just starts playing, and so it can happen in so many different ways. We don't even have to control it and go out and like try to look for it. It will find us when we're ready. But just knowing that, if we're right now, allowing ourselves to not feel good consistently, it's okay. Don't make yourself wrong for it. You're getting more life experience there, so it's actually still serving you. But you still have the choice when you're ready to let it go, to let it come to you, let it find you the answers when you're ready, and they always will come. And once they come, you'll be really excited because now you have a new direction, and now you have some momentum starting to build. And as that momentum builds, so everything manifests from energy, from momentum. And I love this episode so much, Michelle. You're awesome. This has been a fun.
Oh, thank you. So are you. Well, it takes an awesome person to know one.
I wouldn't be saying all this stuff here by myself today. There's no way I might have done a beach video or something today, but it wouldn't have been this powerful. No chance.
Well, thank you so much. It's really a fantastic episode, and it's so easy talking to you too, because you're so receptive. So it's just beautiful to see people like you doing what you're doing, to being of service in the way that you're being of service. And it's, we change lives, just like you were saying before, where, someone on the street, maybe going for a walk, and they run into you, but you're in this great mood and you uplift them, and you don't know what they could have been thinking that day. You don't know if maybe suicide has crossed their mind, but you could have changed them like this. So it's fantastic. So this is also what I tell people is, don't hide. You want to go out there. Be out there, because we need you out there. Don't hide. Don't be afraid to share your passions with people that you feel you can. Because sometimes, maybe in certain scenarios, you might feel like maybe this is not the right scenario. So use your own judgment, because you really know of when to share. And you can just inspire somebody, and within seconds, even just from being next to them. You don't have to say a word. Sometimes it's your vibration that just all of a sudden uplifts theirs, because you're vibing so high. And I think it's such a beautiful thing. So don't hide, people. Come out. Come out and inspire, because it's just, you're needed. You're needed. I know I said this before, but we're all needed here. We're all needed here. We all have a purpose. Our purpose may look a little bit different, but guess what? In the end, it's really love. It's love.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that you just said that. Yeah. Especially, you're in a good mood, or you're feeling at peace, or you're just feeling that ease and flow. Get out in the world, just get around people, because you're just going to uplift the whole vibe. And on those days also that you're like, everybody around me is in such a good mood, they're just reflecting you. And so, and then vice versa, you go out of the house and you're in a crap mood. Everybody every day being so mean, and so they're just reflecting you also. So
yes, right. And it's funny, like day to day could be so different. So sometimes it's just a loving reminder that maybe there's something that needs to be healed in us, or it's just you looking around and seeing maybe what's going on inside and you're like, huh, and that allows you to make a quick decision of, do I really want that? This is what it looks like. Do I want that? Or do I want to go this direction instead and be that light? And just don't forget to turn on the switch in the morning. We all have a switch. Turn it on and let yourself shine bright. And don't be afraid to take up space. We need to take up space. There's so much here. We need to take up space in order to be able to radiate that beauty. We have to take up space. Don't play small. Don't try to fit into someone else's box. You have to think outside the box and just put those boxes aside. Those are like from way back. That's in the past. No more boxes. We're out. We're bubbly. We're out. It's time for us to shine. And whatever that may look like for you. For some people, it might be just, being a parent. That might be their purpose and they love doing it. So do it with, all your being and just go for it. Go for it, go for it, go for it. And the big thing is what tends to stop us is also, what is someone else going to think? Oh my goodness, what is someone else going to think? And you know what? It's all about you now. It's all about you being authentic without worry and just go for it. Even if that worry comes up, it's okay. You'll be fine. Just go for it and just watch the magic unfold and watch those magical synchronicities, because the universe is all magic. We're always asking for miracles to happen, but then sometimes we're not in the present moment to see them, where they're everywhere. Like what you're saying, a video might start playing, on YouTube afterwards. And for me, I'm like, that's the universe saying like, here, I got something for you. Want to listen? Here we go, right? And let it play. Sometimes my iPod will start skipping to different songs and I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. What do I need to hear today? And then it's something really uplifting or something with the lyrics that have so much meaning of something that I'm going through in a current moment. So those are miracles. Those are miracles, big or small. They come in many different shapes and sizes, and just start to watch that. Kids look at that all the time. This is why their lives are so magical, because they see these little things. They look at a twig and they're like so just mesmerized by it. Like they explore everything. And that's where the beauty lies, is seeing life through the eyes of a child. And if you have children, watch how they interact, especially the really young ones, especially usually before the age of 7 or when they go off to school, is when they're really tapped into the magic. And just watch them play. And they might be moving their hands around where you think, this is kind of weird, funny, but they're playing with energy. My daughter plays with energy too. She's a little meditating Buddha. Like she's in that state all the time. And I watch her and the things that she says, I'm just like, whoa, like, it's so easy to miss that if we're not in that moment. So be present wherever you are. Try to be as present as possible, because you don't want to let that pass you by. That miracle that you're asking for, here it is. It's in the present moment.
Wow. Rewind, and you guys can't do this live, but when you're listening to this, when it's actually out, rewind and listen to what Michelle just said, that whole segment. Just listen to the whole podcast again. You can skip my parts if you want. I think there were some good ones, but Michelle's parts were like awesome.
Oh, thank you. Rewind, rewatch, watch it, and then watch it again. Like keep rewatching it. Sometimes if we forget things and we need that upliftment or we need that reminder, you know what I mean? And if I was to watch something that inspires me, every time I watch it, I pick up on different parts. It's like if you rewatch a movie, do you notice that sometimes you end up focusing on different parts that might really speak to you in the moment, in the days? So I do encourage you, if you want to rewatch me, I'm flattered.
If we listen to, or read, they've proven this scientifically, like anything 7 times, it becomes like a part of us. Like you fully embody that. So I've done that with a couple of books that have just like blown me away, and just kept reading them over and over again. And just like you said, you pick up different things. I have one more thing to point out that you mentioned right at the beginning of what you were sharing a second ago that cannot be overlooked, because this is the easiest way to allow you mentioned turning on your light switch when you wake up. So important. Like I don't want to overlook that at all, because when we're sleeping, all different, maybe rough energy that we had going yesterday or whatever we had going on yesterday is allowed to subside. Now, I will preface that saying, if you go to sleep and your energy is just really opposite, really heavy, one, it might be difficult to sleep. your dream state might not be as pleasant. But just know that when you first wake up, you have now a choice as far as what momentum am I going to start here on this day. There's no momentum going when we first wake up. So the first thought, the second thought, the third thought, that's going to determine which direction that we go. And so what I took from turning on your light switch, there's many things that you can do. I mean, my process in the morning is I wake up, I'm just super grateful to be awake. Like, I'm just happy that today is going to be a good day. Just immediately just putting my mind into that grateful, appreciative state so that the momentum can go that way. And I use the bathroom, drink some water, and then I meditate for 15, 20 minutes. That's my practice. But what you also can do, I mean, you could have just simple, just I am affirmations that you share. Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm having a good day. I'm excited. I'm abundant. I'm whatever it is that's important to you. And that, your brain is like, ooh, like your brain like feeds off of this. Like it starts raising your frequency and your vibe immediately. And just finding anything to be grateful or appreciative of already flips on your life versus what a lot of us have done in the past, for sure. We grab our phone and you're like, oh crap, like I'm already running late. I got all these things to do. It's going to be such a long day. And then it's like, you just, not only did you didn't not only flip on your light, you just like, you're holding your hand down on the switch. Like, it's like, it wants to be on, it wants to shine, but just like, you just put glue on it. Like, you can't get it up.
Right? Don't duct tape your switch.
For sure. So that, I mean, that makes it so much easier. And not that you'll stay like shining all day. You can, for sure, because you keep building momentum, especially just being aware of it. This is all I care about for humanity, is just the awareness, the present moment awareness, because awareness gives us the power of choice. And once we have the power of choice, then the choice is ours individually. No one can choose for you out there. And so, but that is an easy way to get yourself started on the right foot, where you leave the house and you're already, like we've been talking about, in a good mood because you allowed yourself to flip on your switch right away. Little things aren't going to really throw you off. You're not going to really experience a lot of dramatic things when you're out in the world, when you're vibing high. You're going to experience those when your vibration, your frequency has been a little bit, not where you like it to be. So I wanted to mention that because that's so important. Like that, without that element, all the stuff that I do wouldn't be possible the way that I do it, including like this podcast. Like, I just like to see how high vibe I can get. When Michelle popped on and we first met, before that we had never talked to each other at all, and then it's just like boom, we're sharing all this awesome stuff with you guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Super awesome.
I think that is so important. I love that you said that again too. I love, because it is important to have some sort of daily practice. And it doesn't mean that it has to be the exact same every day. You can change it up because you want to really listen to how you feel in that given moment. Say if you wake up and you have maybe fear and anxiety kind of rumbling around in the stomach area, it might be wanting to get your attention that there is something there that needs to be healed. So then it's like, hey, what do I need to do? What affirmations or maybe meditations or something do I need to do, or breathing techniques, in order to help myself just feel peaceful again and know that this is okay and this too shall pass. And yeah, it's whatever works for you. Like you said, you do your meditations in the morning. I meditate too, and I have, you flick on the switch. Eventually, when you flick on the switch enough, it becomes just something that happens in the morning because it's already programmed. You have that. It's like ding, you're just in that state, so it's fantastic. But I'm still in human form. I still experience worry, doubt, fears, and anxieties. I look at them differently now. I look at them like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, why are you here? And you pose those questions and see what pops up, and you might get it in the form of a memory or something coming up where, okay, that needs to be cleared. And when you do the work in that area, you might notice that the grip is a lot less. It's not as strong anymore. It doesn't come back the way it did. So they're just little nudges that let us know that we're still in human form. We're having the human experience. Without those things, we wouldn't have it. Fear sometimes can be a blessing too, because it might, keep you out of situations that would be very toxic for you. So we have to look at it different ways. And it's almost like learning on how you function and learning when it comes up for you, what does it mean for you? What is it trying to tell you? So I do feel that a spiritual practice is very important in the morning, rather than, it's so easy to just look at your phone right away, right? And most of us have our alarms on our phones. For me, I have it on my iPod, but I have it far away from where I can just reach. I have to get up to go get it. So it also gets me out of bed. It's just trying to make that time, whether it's, 5 minutes in a day. If 5 minutes is too much, you know what? If you're a parent or you're a single mom like me, I get it. I get it. It might be a 1 minute commitment, but that 1 minute can really just change your entire tone. And like I said before, it's whatever works for you that day. If for you that day is just one affirmation and this is like your mantra for the day, go with it. If you want to just take 3 deep conscious breaths and you feel this is good, I'm good, I can go, and then just keep going. And what I teach my clients too is when they really want to deepen into a spiritual practice, it doesn't have to be just a morning thing. It could be during the day. Drop down and do your meditation or whatever it is, and or even at nighttime, just to be able to. I like doing a gratitude, almost like a mental list before I go to bed of the things that happened that day that I'm so grateful for, because it puts me in a different tone. It really does. And then I wake up in a different tone. So rather than all that, oh my gosh, going on in your head that sometimes can happen, you're setting yourself up for success throughout the night where you can really have a great sleep and just recharge, because we need that charge. And I think that is so important.
Such good advice. I love it. Such good advice. This has been an awesome episode, Michelle. Really, really enjoying this. And I'm not going to piggyback on any of that. I'm going to let it all stay there. Okay, I'm going to piggyback on one thing, and that's it.
Okay.
And it's just the part of life that we can all choose to be at whenever we choose to, and when we're experiencing challenging things. Because challenges, just by the way that we even call them challenges, are probably going to be challenging in the moment. However, we can still choose to look at them, like Michelle mentioned, as far as what's the universe trying to show me? Like what's here? Like what's the lesson? Why am I being slowed down right now? Is there something else that I'm going to experience as a result of this event not happening that I thought was going to happen? I mentioned to Michelle before we started recording that every once in a while something that I'll have scheduled won't happen. It'll and we've all had that where we've scheduled things. You schedule a date with someone and they've flipped or whatever. Something happens to where something you thought you were going to experience doesn't happen. I like to ask myself, what is here that I now get to see, do, experience that I wouldn't have if that was the route that I was going? There's something else here. And I'm like a little kid. Like, I'm curious to see what, you said that also, living through the eyes of a child. I'm such an example of that. That's how I like to live, because it's more adventurous. So I'm asking, like, what's going to be here now that this other thing that I thought I was going to experience isn't? Versus what, we can all do also is like, oh, like this sucks. Like, and then it just like spirals down. So you made something that, could have been an exciting adventure. Now it's like a depressing, like, oh, sadness. So it's the same situation that happened, but it's just how we choose to label it, how we choose to look at it. And some cool things can happen. I've had some really cool things happen in my life because of other things that didn't happen. And I'm still being open to the possibility of something awesome happening. I've had some awesome things happen for sure. So I'm happy that you mentioned that.
Awesome. And that's so true what you're saying. Like it really is, because sometimes, if somebody cancels on you, like say if you made plans, they cancel on you, we tend to be like, oh, we're either disappointed or we're super happy. But if we're disappointed, it depends who it is, right? It's if we're disappointed, we might want to look at it and be like, well, instead of maybe looking at it as like, oh, I wish that would have happened. It's like, wait a minute, there's a reason for why you had to have that time freed for you. Now, what is the golden opportunity here? Is there maybe opportunity for rest? Is it maybe just replenishment? Is maybe someone else going to contact you, or something else is going to fall in where you're like, whoa, if this wouldn't have happened if I would have gone off with so-and-so. So the universe tends to make wonderful things happen, but it's all about perspective. Perspective is a huge thing, because we can look at it as like, wah, or we can look at it as like, hey, opportunity, like free time, like yay, where some people might not have that free time to themselves, and all of a sudden you have an hour to yourself. It's like bliss, 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 bliss. And what can happen in an hour? So much. You can download so much. Like it's fantastic. So perspective is
Absolutely.
key.
I love it. Well, you've shared so much beautiful energy, Michelle. I really appreciate like this time, and everybody out there, definitely follow Michelle on social media, and make sure that you stay in tune with everything that she's doing, because I know one thing for sure, she's going to bring her awesome energy with her and whatever she chooses to create, and you're going to get to feel and experience whatever that is that she's creating in this same energy and beyond. And the impact that it can make on you or others is just, I'm really excited for us all to now know that Michelle exists, and
Yay. Thank you.
Where she flows on her journey, wherever it leads her to, potentially, not even potentially, when timing is right, some time spent in LA and other things that she told me about. So,
yep.
Well, I appreciate you, Michelle, and if there's anything that you want to say to the audience on the way out, please feel free. But you've shared so much, and I just really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with all of us on this episode.
Well, thank you. Thank you for listening, for tuning in. And I hope I was able to inspire you with even just one single word that I said. And if, you know what, if I always like to tell people, like I mentioned before too, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it in. Take it in if it resonates with you. So if it aligns, bring it. If it doesn't, shut the door. It's all good. So I just really wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for tuning in, for listening, wherever you are. Spread the love, spread the magic, and just be authentic. And I love you guys very, very much. So thank you.
Awesome. We're reflecting that love back to you, all of us. I will reflect it for the audience. Well, thank you guys out there for tuning into another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Definitely share this episode. You will impact people that right now also don't know that this beautiful Michelle human exists, but they soon will. And just appreciate you guys for continuing to rate and review and subscribe if you're not already. Make it easier for people to find these beautiful episodes, and we'll keep flowing the love and light out to you, sending positive vibes to you all, wherever you are, whenever you're hearing this. Happy New Year. Even if you're hearing this December 31st, Happy New Year to, well, 2021. But whenever you hear this, still Happy New Year. It'll always be happy for us in the moment. And that's what I'm sending vibes of to every single one of you out there. And we'll talk with you soon. Have an amazing day whenever you hear this. And I appreciate you all. Awesome.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you, Noel.
That was awesome. We flowed the whole time. I can talk to you for hours and hours and hours. It's like, I'm going to take a 3-hour podcast with Michelle.
I know.